So guys, a bunch of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker information has come out, including our first proper look on set at some characters like the Knights of Ren and you name it. So of course, I've got to talk about this, I have to. How's it going, guys? Welcome to a Star Wars video. It's something I want to do a lot more of, and as you can probably tell, this is more of like a live reaction-esque breakdown video, a rambly discussion, so we're going to jump straight into this. You probably may or may not have heard, just like what they did with The Last Jedi, they have released a bunch of information, a bunch of articles based on the insight they got, you know, behind the film, and it's all very exciting stuff, and to be honest, it will just get your freaking speculation senses tingling to the max. Now, what I've got up is a couple of articles. I have no idea right now as of how long this video is going to be. Some of the stuff is kind of confusing, especially with the Knights of Ren, with the way they worded something, but stay tuned to that part of this video, because I definitely want your input on that. By the way, every single article I look at in this video will be in the links down below. Trust me, go check it out yourself. There's a bunch of stuff to learn, some of it which I won't have time to go over today. But let's look at the set photo straight away. So, you know, we've got C-3PO here on set, the real MVP, the only guy really who's been in all of the 9 films. But, you know, let's jump straight onto the Knights of Ren. So here it is, says J.J. Abrams, alongside stunt coordinator Eunice Huttart. Sorry if I butchered that. I do butcher names quite a lot, directs Knights of Ren, elite fierce enforcers of Kylo Ren's dark will. So they look pretty awesome there. They look very similar, obviously, or exactly the same to those concepts that were leaked, and from what we've already just seen as in a general consensus before this. You know, my thoughts on the Knights of Ren. Some of you may not know it, whether it's through live streams or previous Star Wars videos. I just feel like it's kind of a little bit too little too late to introduce them in the last film, but that doesn't mean I'm not excited to see how they're going to be. But I kind of resonate with the feelings of, you know, I'm guessing this is Star Wars, it's going to end in a satisfying, probably happy-esque, you know, conclusion to all of these films. So to properly introduce, yes, I know they're in episode 7, in episode 9, for them to be, I assume, wiped out one way or another. Obviously, we don't know exactly how that's going to go down, but there is something, this is what I meant by the beginning of the video, in another article that Variety released about all of this Star Wars information that makes you think more about that. It's very confusing, but trust me, stay tuned for that part of the video. But either way, you know, other than that, they look badass. I would love for them to have like lightsabers and stuff like that, but you know, in the Star Wars universe or cinematic, you know, films, they've made lightsabers a lot more, especially like in the prequel era, much more of a rare thing to acquire. Like Kylo Ren's, like how bodged his lightsaber is. So I get why these guys don't, and I'm not taking away by how badass their weaponry looks. I mean, for crying out loud, this guy here has a freaking gun on his arm. But you know, other photos, there is a bunch more. We got our first look at Kerry Russell as the masked scoundrel Zori Bliss, seen in the Thieves' Quarter of the snow-dusted world Kijimi. So, you know, when I first saw this, and I didn't obviously see that it was the snow-dusted Thieves' Quarter of Kijimi, I thought, oh my god, like, is this got anything to do with a secret Sithy kind of realm? Of course, any Star Wars fan like would kind of secretly hope that, but you know, yeah, so this is a part of the Thieves' Quarter, and the article just goes on to explain, just like Del Toro's kind of role, like ever since the whole drama and the whole galaxy, it's been a very interesting and somewhat profitable time for scoundrels, rogues, and bounty hunters, so that they kind of allude to the fact that she's kind of like one of those people in the galaxy, but obviously she's just not some random you know, scoundrel or like rogue going around in the movie. She's going to have some significance, just like Del Toro's character did, even though he completely backstabbed them. So I hope her role is bigger than that. I hope she has some, not everything has to connect, but I hope she somehow does have some history with someone. Maybe she has history with Lando, and Lando's just like, oh god, like, you don't want to mess with her, I've run into her before. Even if it's something as simple as that. But either way, man, like, Kerry Russell looks incredible here, and it's very familiar armor as well. I can't wait to see this kind of underworld, kind of scoundrelly area where people are getting bounties and just taking advantage of the war between the Resistance and the First Order, and even before that, after the Empire fell, just taking complete advantage of the total the chaotic warfare that was going on. So I think, yeah, so in the trailer, we finally got confirmation on Kijimi. I'm guessing it's a new planet. Don't quote me on that, but off my Star Wars knowledge, and I like to pride myself in that I know quite a bit. I mean, this could be embarrassing, but I don't know anything about Kijimi. I'm guessing it's a new planet that they've made up, but of course it's kind of always been there. But either way, we see General Hux. I really hope that JJ, I'm assuming he will bring back the vibe of General Hux from episode 7. I did enjoy, you know, some of the comedy, and I get what they were going for with what Ryan did with General Hux, but I preferred the much more intimidating version, you know, when he was giving that speech in episode 7. That was a lot more of the Hux that I vibed with. That was a lot more of like, oh my god, this guy is like a second coming of you know who. And I can't say that for obvious reasons on YouTube. But you know, First Order leaders General Hux and Allegiant General Pride on the bridge of Kylo Ren's destroyer. We got some more behind the scenes photos of like Rey, Chewie, and C-3PO, and this is on that same planet as what we saw in the trailer with Poe Dameron and Finn on, and we get some really cool images of those guys in a minute. And speaking of, here we have freaking Lando, Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron, and Chewie in the freaking Falcon. Like, this is a legendary image. I think this is going to make a lot of people happy, and I can't wait to see this scene. As I said, there's a lot of other articles going into what the actors are saying about where the characters are at and what they're feeling as of when episode 9 starts. So Poe Dameron is kind of struggling with the transition into leadership. Rey and Kylo are, you know, kind of still vibing with their Force bonds. And here we see Finn and Janna. So what they have to say about this is horsing around. Finn and new ally Janna, a top hardy Orbucks. I'm guessing this is a new amazing creation that Star Wars. I love what they do with their, I'm guessing they're going to be part puppeteering and obviously CGI, kind of what they did with, oh man, I can't remember the name of the alien towards the end of the film. You know, the ones that were on the Canto Bight planet. Correct me down in the comments below, but either way, lead the charge against the mechanized forces of the First Order. It's extremely surreal to be in it, says Aki, and see how it works from the inside. As for the planet that we've seen already a few photos of, like the sand planet that I guess people were thinking could be Jakku, and it still kind of could be, but like, I guess they kind of confirm it here to say that Jordanian locals play the Aki natives of the planet Pisana. Pisana is probably the planet that we saw in the trailer where all that action was going down and where Rey was running away from Kylo in his ship, flying towards her, instead of Jakku and revisiting Jakku. But this doesn't mean that we might not still see Jakku. But odds are that it is, you know, the planet Pisana, if that's how you pronounce it. But this image, guys, look how awesome this looks. So they say star-crossed. Kylo Ren and Rey battle it out with lightsabers in a stormy confrontation. Their force connection, what Driver calls their maybe bond, will turn out to run even deeper than previously revealed. So this is what I meant by speculation tingling, guys. What does Adam Driver mean by that? Maybe bond, like what, how does it run deeper? What could this mean? Like, I know already people are saying, oh my god, are they related? Does this mean they're like quite literally both reincarnated chosen ones and they can't kill each other because they need to maintain the balance of the force for it to go on throughout the unit? Do you know what I mean? I can imagine a bunch of stuff like that. But this would be epic if this is on top of maybe the ruins of the Death Star. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because it looks like that's a bunch of water spraying over them. And obviously in the trailer, one of the final shots before the Emperor cackled, it is Daisy Ridley, obviously, Rey, Finn, Poe, BB-8, I think Chewie was there off the top of my head, looking out at the ruins. Now, I'm guessing, obviously, they fly over to it. Kylo will get there at some point. This is just, as I said, a guess, and how epic would it be if they have some kind of, you know, new lightsaber duel. Well, they are having a new lightsaber duel, and it's on top of the Death Star. My god, that would be such a cinematic kind of scene. Next noticeable screenshot is of Luke, guys. So they say from the ashes, Mark Hamill as Luke with R2-D2. Speculation is rampant about who, yeah, totally will rise as the Skywalker of the movie's title, and how that choice will reflect the way the world has changed since Star Wars debuted in 1977. Now, obviously, these photos, I mean, it doesn't look Force ghosty there, but that's not to say he isn't Force ghosty. And what I mean by that is these are kind of photos which aren't obviously probably, they're like intended for the final product of the movie. So this is probably just him posing, and it's a nice shot, but he will be digitized into that blue-esque tint of like Yoda had in The Last Jedi and what we've seen from Force Ghosts in previous films. But either way, guys, I just love that shot of Luke Skywalker. I cannot wait for his Force Ghost scenes, you know, obviously helping communicate and maybe guiding Rey, and obviously the whole how they touch with the Rise and what the title means. A lot of people alluding to the fact that it could mean the New Order at the end of the film is known as Skywalker or Skywalkers. A lot of people have also pointed out that the Chiss have like nicknamed the Jedi or any Force user kind of Skywalkers, which could be a cool kind of callback to that maybe, but we'll have to wait and see. We get cool looks at their magazine covers and they look absolutely incredible. But the thing that I wanted to go on to now, I believe, is the Knights of Ren. So this article is called The Star Wars The Knights of Ren Make Their Long-Awaited Return. So this is what I mean. They do lots of splintered articles off these photos that they acquired, and we kind of learned something which really made me kind of confused at the same time. So it says right here, in the first trailer for Rise of the Skywalker, we see Kylo Ren mowing through the Knights with his lightsaber. Is this a flashback to a previous falling out, or evidence of new dissent among the ranks, or is it, as many hope, evidence that Kylo will turn on the bad influences in his life and join Rey in the fight? Now, is it just me? And I know there's been theories out there, and I even thought this when I saw that. I was like, that kind of looks like a Knights of Ren member, or it was people alluding to the fact that it could just be a clan leader or a member on that world, or it could be a flashback to that moment when him and the Knights of Ren slayed all of those people in Rey's Force vision. Now, I don't know, like, obviously you can't take this as confirmation, but the fact that they're writing pieces on inside knowledge of Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker, and the person who wrote this specific article is saying in the trailer we saw Kylo Ren mowing through the Knights with his lightsaber. I don't know what to make of that. Obviously I say don't take this as literal, like, confirmation, but that's an interesting thing, like, was he mowing through the Knights of Ren? What? I mean, that'd be pretty cool. But then again, guys, as I said, I believe Joanna Robinson wrote this specific piece. This could be just her interpretation of that part of the trailer and her adding this into, obviously, the photo that Variety got a hold of. But that would be pretty cool. And it's totally believable that if Kylo does, you know, go to the light side, he mows through his own Knights of Ren, because they probably wouldn't agree with that, I guess, after going dark. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below to that. I just found it interesting that they decided to write down that in the trailer we saw him mow through the Knights of Ren. It's like, do you know something we don't, Variety? I mean, well, since you kind of got a hot take on The Rise of Skywalker, did you just give something away? I mean, I don't know. And as I mentioned, guys, there's another really cool read of the connection, the truth about Kylo Ren and Rey's connection, where they go into, as I said, how it kind of goes into the backstory of why Kylo is the way he is. Now, this isn't the first time we've heard how, imagine growing up with two famous people like Han Solo and Leia Organa as your parents, and how that would impact Kylo's upbringing, and how you can kind of contrast that with Rey's upbringing with whoever her parents are, but like being alone and the pressures that came with that as well, and how these two somewhat have a bond out of that. I mean, very clearly some kind of bond. But you know, I'm going to cut this video here, guys, because it's been going on way longer than what I thought, but I thought I would just give my blabberness of thoughts on all of this Star Wars information. If you want me to do any more specific videos out of, obviously, a lot of the speculation that can now come out of this, because as I said, there's a lot of little tidbits that you could think, oh, now we've seen that. Does this mean that they're going to do that in the film? Or will Kylo, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I love Star Wars. You guys should definitely know this about me. So I want to do a lot more content on the channel. So if you want to see it, give this video a like. I'd really appreciate that. Subscribe for more videos like this too. But I'll see you guys in the next video. As I said, links are in the description down below. But take care, guys, and may the Force be with you.